Okay, so till this point, you have submitted the three ideas, out of which you might have received one idea selected. You might have submitted the components for three ideas, and then you also have submitted the literature review of your three ideas. That is three separate paragraphs on the Word file. Next week, I think this Friday or next Friday, you need to submit a revised title in a IEEE template of Overleaf, that is latex programming, along with the abstract of the selected topic. And then you can submit your code for microcontroller in the same template of IEEE. And simulation, you need to submit your simulation file as well as a screenshot of your simulation into your paper format. So for that, I have explained you last time how to import a graphics library and start importing your images to the Overleaf. Next task for you. So up to 4A, all the tasks are completed. Next task is PCB layout. So here you have to submit a PCB schematic. Now this has to be a editable layout that you need to submit, as well as JPG. You have to submit it in the Overleaf format. So I guess all of you know how a PCB layout should look like. So this is a green mask layout. Uh, there are many ways to generate a PCB layout. So you will have different masking layers. This is for SMD components. And this is how a final PCB will look like. So simple PCB layout, you need to submit a layout like this, black and white, which you can print later on and transfer it onto the PCB. Again, if you have taken some project which is already made, you still have to make its layout on your own. And for that, you can use any software. Altium is the industry standard, or you can use Proteus, or there are many other softwares which you can use for this PCB layout. You can also use auto routing, but you have to maintain a single condition that your PCB, ideally 99% of the project should be a single sided PCB and should not exceed a standard PCB size of 100 by 150 That is the dimensions we generally get with the PCB. But if you have something special, we can discuss, and it's definitely allowed. So when you submit it through software, you might submit something like this. So once we open, all these blue lines will be visible. I don't know if that thing is visible to you or not. Let me just see. So these are the different file formats you will have, and this is how your final schematic should look like. This is the most preferred software by the students. It's called Easy EDA for making out the layouts. And you have to remember certain rules from the IC pins. Whenever you're taking the track, it has to go parallelly like this. This is a perfect way of taking out the track. Then whenever you are sending one track to the next, do not connect them in 90-degree. You have to split them into 45 degrees. Also keep a ample space between the components and give a clean track. और उसके लिए हम नंबर गेम्स खेलते हैं. नंबर गेम मतलब एक पॉइंट से दूसरे पॉइंट जाने के लिए you have to draw a line without overlapping any other line. So ideally your designing should include zero jumpers. There should not be any jumper other than component. There should not be any track. So here all these red wires are jumpers. So this is not an efficient design. You can also the tracks are turned into the 90-degree, which is also not good. Secondly, solder pad and tracks are very close, so that is also not good. So you have to maintain all the rules of your PCB designing, and then you design your PCB. So that will be your next task in the assignments. Going back to the, I don't know, we were coming to the assignments. So I think deadline is already set for this assignment. next to the 9th August. So that will be 15th August. So it's already uploaded, the deadline for 15th August. At the same time, you don't have to submit a PCB. So experiment or assignment 5A is not to be done without verifying the PCB layout. So that we will do later. But in the next session, everyone should get the PCBs to the project lab session, and you have to make your PCB, learn how to make PCBs here. So after that, you have graphical abstract. So 5B and concept diagram. So let us understand what is the difference between the two. Firstly, it is like a picture. You have to explain what you are doing without saying a single word. That you call a graphic abstract. So here you can put cartoons, themes, whatever. A single picture where you don't have to say anything. If somebody watches that picture, should understand your project concept. Now, this kind of graphical abstract, you can get it made from ChatGPT, but I'm not sure the text he puts inside those graphical abstracts are correct. So you again bring it to the paint and correct your spellings. Don't do blindly ChatGPT to submit a graphical abstract. Now, concept diagram. Typical graphical abstracts are like newspaper images where you don't write anything. And concept diagram is where there will be a text along with the graphical abstract. I will show you one example, maybe one of my published papers. So, now for sample published papers, you can go to publications and all the published papers will be available, manuscript available at that the link you should click. We just search for, okay. So this is one sample manuscript where we have a graphical abstract or a concept diagram. So till this point, you have completed the title part of the paper. You have completed a author name and then your guide's name. Then you have your abstract submitted. You also have to complete 5 keywords. These are the search terms which I explained in the last class. And now we are moving to this diagram, which is a graphical abstract. So this one, we can call it as a concept diagram more than a graphical abstract because we do have graphics, but along with that, we have lot of arrows to explain these concepts. So if I don't speak for a long time, you can still understand what is happening in this paper without reading a single line. You might be able to tell. Not all of you, but those who are intelligent enough should able to tell what is happening in this paper without saying a word. That is how a graphical abstract should look like. Now, again, I will show you one of the graphical abstract which I made. Okay. So once published your article, it should look like this. And this one, this particular diagram you can see is more like a 3D visualization of a circuit. All LCD, Arduino, relay, everything is put up onto the circuit diagram. So this is how a concept diagram or graphical abstract look like. Now again, since it was very technical, I need to put some naming into this graphic abstract, but it is more like a concept note. And that is your next submission 5B. Again, deadline for this remains the same. So I will update this graphical abstract deadline will be 15th along with your PCB layout submission. And the last part is your assignment 6A. So this one, you have to submit a introduction section about your paper. So now you know your topic. Introduction section will be divided in three major parts. Now, what different things you need to include into the introduction section is first, what you are doing. Second, why you are doing, what is the need to the society that you are doing this. That will be the second paragraph. And third is what means what the methodology you are following. So basically a graphical abstract and its explanation. So graphical abstract do come with the explanation. So each figure in the paper will have, let's say you are seeing a picture of me. So that picture will be there. Below that, there will be a caption saying Ninad Mehndai. And then there is an explanation of the diagram saying Ninad Mehndai has achieved this as shown in figure 1. So there will be three things that you include for each and every paper. And then you complete your introduction section. This section will have references. So first two sections in the paper will have references. This introduction section, now you can ask if you remember, we have gathered all the research papers and they are collected into your single notebook LM. So now you go to that notebook LM, tell this is the topic and write me a 3-paragraph introduction section, why we are doing it, what we are doing it, and then you give its graphical abstract and ask him to explain with caption and detailed explanation. Clear? So these are the 3 submissions for the next week, that is week after your 8th August or 9th August submission. And entire class has to do it. So with that, I will stop recording and then you can ask if you have any questions.